Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, and here's a headline brand new from Cointelegraph. Ripple ran crypto's most expensive lobbying program in 2020. And this immediately caught my attention, not just because Ripple's in the title, but because attorney Jeremy Hogan brought it up in a recent video when he was talking about, well, a number of things having to do with the SEC versus Ripple litigation. And he made a point, and I'm going to share with you specific details of this a little bit later in the video, but he brought up specific points having to do with the idea that, like, if you want to win this thing, it's not going to be through the courts, not exclusively. You need to get into lobbying in a more substantial way. And so lots of interesting stuff to talk about in this topic. And just to kind of get a feel for how little lobbying is done in the world of crypto, I actually was unaware. This is not a topic that frequently comes up in crypto. And anytime it has come up, I've just never felt the urge to research this. But I've got some interesting numbers thanks to some people that have been touting all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to share with you what I have learned. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just enjoy talking about these crypto-related topics as an enthusiast, and I run this YouTube channel purely as a hobby. That is all that it is. I'm not special because I'm on the internet. In fact, you don't even know if I'm wearing pants right now. And I am. Get your mind out the gutter, but I'm just saying. Shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, who tagged me in this piece. And also, XRP community member Frecky tagged me in a separate tweet, which isn't on the screen, but it led to this. And in response to this post on Twitter from Cointelegraph advertising their own article, Frecky responded and wrote, "Good. This country needs pro-crypto lobbying. Let's put it that way. Educating the masses, political figures, non-tech, are key. Hashtag XRP, at Ripple, hashtag crypto." Then he wrote, "They are probably one of the only companies actually lobbying as it's needed." He's saying Ripple's one of the only. Yeah, and I don't think that there's sufficient lobbying going on after the bit of looking into us that I've seen. And check out this. I'm not sure where Frecky grabbed this from, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to assume that it's fact because he wouldn't just put out something that's nonsense. I know him well enough to know that. And he wrote presumably from some article. And this little snippet from presumably an article states, from 1999 to 2018, the pharmaceutical and health product industry recorded $4.7 billion, an average of $233 million per year in lobbying expenditures at the federal level, more than any other industry. That's massive. When you consider, let's jump into the piece now, the first sentence. Let's take a look at this. And again, look at this number. 233 million per year from pharmaceutical and health product industry. 233 million per year. Ripple Labs spent $690,000 on lobbying in the United States in 2020, which still didn't save the firm from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Let me say a few things right out the gate here. First of all, excuse me. Whatever you think about lobbying, because some people will say it's this thing where it's, pay to play, this or that. I'm not really going to get into that in this particular video. If you don't like it, that's fine. Okay, I don't care. Like, to me, I just want to recognize how the world works and recognize I'm not going to be able to change this aspect. I don't even know what something better than this necessarily would be, because people are always going to do what they can to express what their interests are and have that move forward, whether it's through lobbying or some other means. Humans are humans. They're always going to push for something. So even if you don't like this, fine, whatever. It'd be a fun conversation, I suppose. Not for this video. You can tell me what would be better. But setting that aside, and recognizing as an adult that this is how this actually works, let's recognize what this means. We're talking about individuals on behalf of an organization that are seeking to persuade legislators. So employees of a company that are getting paid, or it could be a nonprofit, whatever, getting paid to attempt to persuade legislators. That's what it is. And so that's why some people don't like it, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't even really want to get into that. And so when they wrote in this first sentence of this piece, spent $690,000 on lobbying in 2020 and still didn't save the firm from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Well, let's make sure that we all are on the same page as far as what we're talking about. We're not lobbying the SEC. Like, Ripple's not lobbying the SEC. They're not lobbying the courts. They're lobbying Did lobby did I have enough of the e in there? Lobby d. Now I'm sure maybe had too many there. Yeah, maybe a little bit. You know, it's better to have too much than not enough. But look, they're lobbying legislators, all right? And so it's not the case that you lobby the SEC. Like the SEC doesn't get to make up law. It's their job to enforce whatever the law is. And then it's the court's position to make sure that justice is done. But you got to go to the top. And the top would be the legislators. And so that's why it's best if you can just circumvent the courts entirely. Because look, litigating courts can be very effective, but if you can have laws set in such a way that you're never going to be in a position where an entity like the SEC can enforce something against you and bring you to court, well, that would be even better. So, you know, if $690,000 didn't do it, double, triple, quadruple it. I don't know. Make the right connections. I don't know. Maybe hire different people to do it. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not going to pretend to know what the specifics are. I'm not on that sort of micro level. But I'm glad that the Ripple is leading the path in terms of this type of activity, lobbying. And the piece continues here. Per legally mandated disclosures for 2020, Ripple's lobbying program dwarfed those of other firms in the crypto industry. Coinbase, which looks to become the first American crypto exchange to issue public shares, spent $230,000 the same year. So, look, I'm no math wizard, but that sounds strikingly like 1/3 of what Ripple spent over the same time period. While other exchanges like Binance US, Gemini, and Kraken did not report any spending on lobbying. I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're being forthright and that they didn't spend any money on lobbying. Why not? So all of their needs are met. They don't need anything more specifically tailored. I don't know, and that's why wait till I share with you the comments from attorney Jeremy Hogan on this, and you'll see exactly why something like that. It's not moving forward and fighting for what are your best interests and just kind of being passive. Probably not the way to play the game. I'll get to that in just a minute here, though. Ripple's spending on lobbying is, however, relatively paltry compared with the giants of big tech. Facebook, for example, spent well over $5 million in just the fourth quarter of 2020. The Diem Association, formerly known as the Libra Association, reported no lobbying activity over 2020, despite the prospective stablecoin issuers' major struggles with regulators. In the past, it had contracted with the Washington, D.C. offices of law firm Skadden, While the Diem Association has consistently downplayed its relationship with Facebook, Facebook maintained a $200,000 contract with lobbyists at FS Vector over 2020 to focus on blockchain issues. So it looks like even if they have lobbyists, $200,000 a year, focused on that. They're doing whatever they can to keep that separate from whatever is happening with Diem. It looks like they seem to want to separate the two. Probably not a bad idea. Ripple was, incidentally, also an FS Vector client. The first half of 2020 also saw Ripple terminate its in-house lobbying team. It now relies solely on contracts with professional firms. And you know what? Sometimes outsourcing is the best thing. Like, even if it adds costs, look, if you're a business, you're not going to be the best at everything that needs to be done to make sure that your business overall is successful. I know that. I'm a business owner myself. Outsourcing things, even if it costs more, is a good move. And by the way, sometimes outsourcing stuff reduces costs. You never know. And so it could be the case that even if it costs more at the outset here, you get more bang for your buck. Go for it. Just if they're getting results, I say just freaking run with it. Lobbying activities that Ripple funded were aimed primarily at legislation before Congress like the Token Taxonomy Act and the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. These pieces of legislation set new rules for which digital assets are or are not securities. And so questions of securities law in crypto are obviously critical to Ripple's business model. The firm had long faced questions as to whether XRP was in fact a security. Yeah, no kidding. And so I don't know what Ripple has done right, what they've done wrong in terms of, lobbying effectively. There's no way that I would have that kind of insider information. But there's not much lobbying being done. And I don't know how much they were spending on this 5 years ago, but you probably would have needed to really gotten on this a number of years ago. And on top of that, like the tacit implication that the SEC had nodded just by not taking action for 8 years, who knows how that impacted what was going on here. It's still bizarre that they came after Ripple. I don't think there's any denying that. So now, on to the opinion from attorney Jeremy Hogan. This is the individual who has, I'll tell you what, him along with John Deaton and a few others, these attorneys, they have really helped me to get a handle on the new risks associated with holding XRP as a result of the SEC versus Ripple claim that's maybe moving forward. Hopefully we get a settlement. I'm not going to get into the specifics. Just you guys, if you follow me, you know all the details. But he's made it clear as to what the likely outcome is in terms of settlement versus going to court, going to actual jury trial. What the worst and best case scenarios are, what it means for Ripple's long-term viability, what it means for XRP's long-term viability. And suffice it to say, the more I've learned from these multiple attorneys, and certainly Jeremy Hogan here, it made me feel better. And I didn't know if I was going to feel better when I was asking these honest questions, because I understand the importance of the SEC not actually declaring XRP a security, requesting a declarative judgment in the court of law. And I also understand the importance of Ripple being able to continue selling their XRP. And so I feel more confident, while I always acknowledge that it is more risky to hold XRP with these charges looming over everyone's heads. I feel substantially better about the position. I'm sleeping easy at night. But if you want to check him out, by the way, I'll just give him a plug right here because he's helped the XRP community so much. His channel is Legal Briefs. Go ahead and check him out. He's put out several really interesting videos on Ripple and XRP over the last week and a half, however long it's been. Maybe a little bit more than that. Now, so I want to highlight something from him. And by the way, let me fast forward. I think it was around this point in his video. He had this slide in this recent video. So it's lobbying the biggest spenders in the United States. It's just to get a feel, because again, you're talking about Ripple in one calendar year, $690,000. Well, here are the organizations with the largest U.S. lobbying expenditure in 2019. Just take a look at the top few. U.S. Chamber of Commerce, $77.25 million. And again, this is 2019, so not last year, but I think it kind of paints the picture. Open Society Policy Center, $48.47 million. National Association of Realtors, $41.24 million. You kind of get, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's on the screen if you want to read it. But there's almost nothing being done in the world of crypto. And you're talking at this point, you got $1 trillion market cap for the asset class, and almost no money is being put into this. So here's what Jeremy Hogan had to say. I went ahead and transcribed part of his video, and I tweeted it out because I just wanted to share this information that Jeremy has imparted with the public, and I wanted to share it all up on the Twitter. So that is what I did here. And so I wrote, Attorney Jeremy Hogan, and here's the quote. "Crypto is getting too large to ignore. Money has taken over the political process, so where are the crypto lobbyists and PACs, that would be political action committees? This is where the war will be won or lost. Mark my words. I've seen it happen with workers' compensation in California in the 2000s. I saw it with the insurance laws here in Florida in the 2010s. The insurance lobby got laws changed and won the war, even when they were losing the battles in court." Think about that. So there are laws in place, and you're losing, but then you pay to have lobbyists go out and persuade legislators, and then you're good. And so that's effectively how it goes. And so again, I'm not here to talk about whether or not that's the best or worst or somewhere in between process, to get finality on various topics. I'm just saying this is the way that the world works, and from his professional experience, people in the world of blockchain companies need to get with it. So I just thought I'd share it. To me, it was a fascinating topic, and I've never really talked about it on this channel before. And so I'll continue to share with you insights as I learn them and specifics on developments. But that will be it for this latest Hot Jam. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.